everybody. Welcome back to the Bitch and Brainstorm podcast. I'm your host, Elaine the Brain Terso, and I'm here with Kathy, who is going to be the next victim. All right. And so what we're going to do is we are going to find out what is keeping her stuck, and we're going to brainstorm through some ideas to help her move her business forward. So, Kathy, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what do you do? How do you help people? And go right into it. What is keeping you stuck?
All right. So I'm Kathy Basel, and I transitioned this past year. I've been doing transformational life coaching, but my background in marketing, you can imagine ChatGPT popping onto the scene. And when I dropped my own messaging into chat and saw the magic that could happen, there was like eureka moment. Like, this is what I'm called to do, is to help other coaches, healers, and I like to say the change makers of the world. It's kind of the message, people with a unique message, help them articulate what it is that they do so that they can attract the clients that they're meant to do. Because I just have a big calling on my heart that, the world needs a little bit of healing. It needs the gifts that these people have. And oftentimes it's hard to do all the things. We're called to go into a certain line of work, but we don't necessarily know how to market that work.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that you help people with AI
Yes.
and how to use AI in their own businesses?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So what is keeping you stuck then?
So I've got all these things. I'm a creative brain, so I want to create everything all at once.
Yep.
And so here's kind of like the mind loop that I get into. So I'm working with coaches and healers. So the people that have been in business, probably for a couple of years, recognizing that they can't do it on their own, which means that they don't, in my mind, have money to be able to afford my services. So, what I'm looking to do is structure three different ways of working with them. One is kind of a content creation club, if you will. It's a monthly. I'm big on the quarterly, like the 90-day year. So I want all my offerings to be kind of a quarterly focus to help them get clear on their focus. Um, so I'm all over the board on how to price my offerings. So the first is this group program, and it's always small. They'll get a weekly call and individual time with me as well to get clear on their messaging. But I think accountability is a huge part of being consistent with their messaging. So that's what the first package is about. The second is for those people who want individual versions of that. They want additional one-on-one time. So there's a VIP offering where we'll go deep and work out their message, just the two of us, do the whole plan their year, plan their quarter, like the Mac Daddy. And then there's some people. So I took my first group through the group program, and what I recognized, and so true of us as humans, right? Only about 5% of the people can learn and then do. And so congratulations to those 5%, but for the 95%, um, I'm going to develop VA services, so done for you. And so I've got the technique lined out, but boy, when it talks about where I'm stuck is how to price these different offerings, and then especially with the VA offer, which I'm very excited about. I think there's a huge desire for that. How to figure out how many hours, how to price it, how to start those first clients that can kind of be my crash test dummy so I can really nail how much time it really does indeed take. I can support them with anything. I just need info. I need to get started so that I need feedback on what it is that they deserve. And then, like I said, my own mind trap about I want to be affordable so everybody can afford, Have you ever heard
Oh,
that?
girl, all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's actually something that a lot of business owners struggle with.
Mhm.
And here's kind of I confession, I was one of them. Okay. I was one of them. And I actually decided that what I did to kind of help myself get out of that mind loop of I have to be affordable, nobody can afford me, yada, 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 was I had to decide who I actually wanted to work with. Do I want to work with baby entrepreneurs? No, I did not want to work with baby entrepreneurs because they can't afford me.
Mhm.
And I started, how do I value my time and the amount of time that I'm spending doing what I like to call business makeovers. Okay. So I am rebuilding someone's business. I'm working with them 6 months to a year. There's a lot that goes into that. So what I decided to do was um I kind of made this chart, this 99% in one column and 1% in the other. Okay. 99% of people are struggling with this over here, but they want to be over here. And if I could show them that I was the solution to get them from this column to this column, then the money didn't really matter, right? So instead of being in other people's checkbooks, right? We don't get to tell people how to spend their money. So what I heard you say was that you are working with people that have been in business for a couple of years,
Mhm.
which means that they should be making revenue. So we don't get to decide how they spend their money. We decide what our time and our energy and our expertise is worth, and we charge it a price accordingly. We are not for everyone. We cannot help all the people of the world. And what I would love to see you kind of step into is like I totally get the idea of I have like three offers myself, right? Done with you, done for you, and right? So
Mhm.
absolutely. Anybody can go onto ChatGPT. I do all the time and
Mhm.
ask questions and even like, hey, I have these ingredients in my cupboard. What should I make for dinner? Right? Like you
Right,
can
right.
use ChatGPT for anything. So what I really want to see you do, and I was kind of looking at your website and stuff, is if ChatGPT is free, why do they need you?
Mhm.
Right? Why do they need you if they could go onto ChatGPT and do it themselves? So positioning yourself as the expert of, okay, great. So you did all of that, but now are you going to actually implement it? So if you position yourself as the implementer, let's use ChatGPT together to help you create a plan, help you create a strategy. And now here's 50 pages of suggestions that it's giving you. And you're like, well, now I'm overwhelmed. And now I'm not going to do anything because I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, the part that I miss, so my nickname would be the AI whisperer, and I can really help them get, uh, I think of it almost like this is your calling, this is your soul message. I really can get them deeper on both knowing who they are. So, like you're saying, being able to step into that value and owning that expertise, I think is a huge part of being successful in business. So that's kind of part of it. And then to really understand little enough of the marketing psychology that they understand we go really, really deep on the who their ideal client is and the emotional triggers that they need to be understanding and addressing in order to connect deeply and convert those people into to um, so I love how you're pulling that out. That implementation is the kind of like the lever, I guess, that's going to make
Yeah.
everything work. I don't think people are walking around thinking, I wish my message were better. Maybe it is. Um,
I think it's more about actually doing it,
okay.
actually taking the time to sit down and create content. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of content girl. I've done where I planned out my content and I did all the things and it didn't feel um creative because I'm like you, I have a creative brain and I'll get a thought that day and I'm like, yep, that's what I'm going to make content about today. So to plan it out for 90 days
Yeah,
feels
I don't like
really daunting to me.
and
So,
there's a way, like I think there needs to be a balance because and you're the
mhm,
creative minded ones are the ones that I won't really want to work with and to let them not be shamed that that's the way we create. It's
yeah,
just the way we are wired. And at the same time, have enough of a framework like, okay, this is springtime's going to be coming up next month.
mhm,
Let's now start to mm, reverse engineer. If you're launching something for a spring fling,
mhm,
reverse engineer that 6 weeks we might want to start.
yeah,
Here's some of the themes that we want to
yeah,
touch on. And then I
yeah,
don't care where your inspiration, I don't care when
mhm,
you do it, but let's create, like you said, just a
yeah.
mm,
One thing that, are you familiar with Polka Dot Powerhouse?
Yeah, I'm a Denver dot.
Okay, cool. So I am the director for Diamond membership, right? And one of the things that we have in our group is we have content creation co-working.
Mhm.
And basically, somebody just hops on Zoom and everybody shares what they're going to work on. And I wonder if something like that could be helpful for you, where, and maybe it's once a week. It could be once every three, I don't know, like you decide Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever, where you're going to hop on for 30 minutes and everybody's going to work on their content, right? Like that is and you could even say, here's the prompt for today, right? And
Yeah,
go like put it in and now how are we going to create content around this prompt? I don't know, like you could totally do something like that where
that was part of my content creation um, club. And
yeah.
part of me was like, I could use that almost as a kind of bring people into my world kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's funny, I had spent,
You could use it as a lead magnet where you can attend one time for free. And then if you want to come back, I used to do that a long time ago. A friend of mine, her and I had this thing, we called it the 8338 Collective, because she is an 8-3 Enneagram and I am a 3-8 Enneagram.
well, that's funny.
So fun. We are like yin and yang, perfect match. We get along so well, which is why it works so good. But we would do this thing where we taught classes every Tuesday, and we would allow people to come in for the second Tuesday of the month was a free workshop open to anyone. But it was a lead magnet to try to get them into our paid so they could learn all of the other things that we were teaching, all of the programs and all of the softwares and all of the tools and all the things that you need for your business, helping people create like revamp their LinkedIn profiles or their Instagram, or did you know you could do this? And you're like, I had no idea. You're like just being able to share those things. But you could use that as some sort of lead magnet as a like, hey, you get one for free. Come and check it out and see how did this help you? But I think you also need to like, what are you charging for that?
And that's my bitch for the day is that I've been all over the board because like I said that anywhere my desire has been anywhere from like 497 a quarter to 997 a quarter.
Okay.
So I just really
So
haven't landed
when you
on.
yeah, so when you think about um what type of business owner are you trying to attract? Beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Like really think about that. Who do you want to attract?
Well, it'd be fun to take the advanced ones because they'll just get it and we can really skyrocket with this stuff.
Okay, so here's what I know to be true. When you are an advanced business owner, you are
Mhm.
making more money, and I'm not spending, I consider myself an advanced business owner. Okay. I know my bare minimum is to get my ass in a seat. My bare minimum is $500. If it's not $500, if it's $39, I'm not signing up
Right, right.
because I
I
don't
love
see
that.
there's no value in that. So my perceived value increases when the price is higher. I'm like, oh, that's probably going to be worth it because, right? So, um, you could start out as a beta, right? You could do this as a beta and
Mhm.
have a founding members price where it's reduced, and that way you get some people in at a reduced rate, maybe like the five, whatever. And then, okay, after 30 days, it's going up to this price. So now you have kind of a reason for people to come in at a reduced price, but then the price tag is right.
Mhm.
So, but then it's what are you going to what are you going to do to help them implement? So maybe the first 30 minutes is we're going to use this prompt, we're going to figure out what we're going to post, and then the next 30 minutes we're going to put the post where it needs to go. So
Mhm.
maybe there's this kind of you come to create it and now you're going to actually go schedule it or post it or whatever. And maybe it's for the entire week. We have 3 prompts. We're going to do 3 posts. I don't know, whatever that looks like. Right. But,
Mhm.
and then it's helping them see what is going to be the ROI. What will happen to their business if they are consistent in their content and they are getting more leads, they are getting more consults, they are getting more whatever. how is that going to help them with their business? So focus on the result. What is going to happen if they take the time to spend on creating their content? And how much time will they save by using AI? And how can they still have their voice and using
That
AI,
See, that's
right?
where I think one of the big disconnects is. Anybody can jump in and use ChatGPT and come up with some pretty darn good stuff, but it's going to get even more competitive because everybody's doing it. So it's really, really important
Yeah.
to create personal brand around this.
Right. So I think that is your segue. That's the thing that's going to make you different is that yes, I use AI, but I'm also in alignment with my brand. I'm in alignment with my values. I'm using it as a tool, not as a replacement. Like I'm using it as, you know, give me 10 ideas and I'll go create content around it instead of write me 10 pieces of content. Now you sound like AI,
Mhm,
right? So there's that a little bit of disconnect, and I think um using the tools that you already have access to, but you have a different um perspective on it that is what is going to make you stand out from everybody else,
mhm.
right? So I see a lot of bro marketers, no offense, bro marketers,
No,
but
that's exactly the term I use. It's like,
yeah, right?
it,
Like I'm over the bro marketers, guys. So sorry, but um I want to feel connected to
mhm,
someone. I respond less to graphics. I respond more to someone's
heart.
photo of themselves. You know what I mean? Like instead of a Canva graphic that I've seen 10,000 times with the same photos and the same template, like no, I'm not engaging with that. And so and I'm sure other people feel the same way. So what if it's about creating engaging content, which I saw you post on your website, like it's authentic, it's engaging, it's whatever. Focus on the result. What happens as a result of being authentic and engaging and being yourself, speaking in your voice, but we're taking the time to do it together,
Mhm,
right? And I think the done for you content um is going to be something for the people that um don't have a VA, probably need a VA because a lot of times people hire VAs just to create content for them. And that's not what VAs are really trained to do, right?
yeah.
They're like, sure, I could post on your social media,
Well,
and they
that's what I
suck
find
at
is
it.
people have tried it and then they get disappointed. They spend a lot of money and really haven't gotten
Right,
what they want. It's because they don't have that skill to understand what it was that they
right.
want in the first place, plus how to
Yes,
work with a VA
right.
effectively. So,
So think about it this way. They all kind of lead to each other, right?
mhm,
So our group, our content creation group is done with you. That's your done with you program, right? We're doing it together. And then if they're like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. Well, guess what?
mhm,
I have this feature over here. So I like to kind of there's a theory that I heard that I started this in 2024, like oh my God, it's now 2025. Last year, I heard this method that I implemented into my business and it was very difficult because we're creatives and we love to share all the things. I realized by sharing all the things, what I was really doing was confusing my audience.
mhm.
So I embraced this method called the one by one by one by one method. One offer, one audience, one page for 1 year. So
What was
instead
the
of
third one?
talking about
Offer
all the
audience.
things, one offer, one audience, one page for 1 year. Okay. So that meant for me, I was like, what is the thing that I want more of? I wanted more business makeover clients. Okay. So, what is involved in a business makeover? I could talk about branding, I can talk about CRM, I could talk about websites, I can talk about all of the things that I'm doing in a business makeover. So, that was my offer. That's all I was going to talk about on social media. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't offer other things, but
Mhm,
it's on the call that I can really help them discover what is the actual best offer that they need, and am I the right one to help them with that? Because I have a facelift, I have CRM collaboration partner, like I have other offers. So this allowed me to hone in and really help people see me as the person who is going to give business a makeover. So if you chose one thing that you want more of, where do you see your business going in 2025? What is the one thing that you really want more of? Do you want more done for you? Do you want to do more done with you?
The done with you.
Okay, so then that's all you're going to talk about. That's all you're going to talk about for 1 year is done with you, and really set yourself as the expert in that area. Now, when you talk to people, guess what? Oh, I do have done for you, but all you're going to talk about is done with you.
Okay. Actually, if that's what I said, I said it backwards. The done for you. Well, actually, it's more like the VIP. So I guess it's kind of a hybrid. So yeah, we'll go with done for you.
Okay, so all you want to focus on is done for you.
Okay.
Done for you content creation. Okay. So again, if that is not the offer, then you move them into done with you or another lower end. But the main thing that you are trying to sell is done for you content creation.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all you're going to talk about for 1 year. I know it's hard.
Did you hear the inner scream?
I know. That's why I had to do it, because I knew it made me really uncomfortable, which was like, oh shit, like I am really uncomfortable with that idea. That means I need to do it. So I actually decided yesterday that I'm going to continue doing that because one, it helped me really stay focused. And two, it really helped people truly understand what it is that I do. You have to assume that people don't always see your stuff. They don't always see your content. They don't always read the things because they're all worried about themselves, or they're taking a hiatus from social media or whatever. They don't read your email, whatever, right? So then I also realize that people are paying more attention than what we think they are. People, oh, nobody sees my stuff, so why bother? Yes, they are. Because then they come up to you and go, oh my God, I follow you and I love your stuff. And I'm like, I had no idea because I never see
Yeah.
you engage with my content or anything, but they're watching, they're paying attention,
Hmm.
and they're the silent referral partner. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So let's talk more about then the done for you and the pricing of that. So
Okay.
you mentioned that was kind of a kind of struggle for you. So tell me more about the entrepreneur that you want to work with that is going to hire you for done for you. Tell me more about them. What kind of coach are they, and what is their biggest struggle?
Well, I would say it's a coach that is ready to up level. So they've been in business for a while and they're like, I'm really ready to take it to the next level. They are, they're clear on where they want to go, recognizing that they're ready to begin to build their team. So they are creatives. They're people with a message in the world. They probably tried VAs and had crash and burn experiences with that. What other kind of attributes are you looking for from me?
Okay, so how long have they been in business?
Um, 5 years.
Okay, which means they're making money.
Hmm.
Okay. And what is up level in your description? Is it they're wanting to hire a team? What is
Yeah.
up level
Their
mean?
up leveling is that they're ready to make a bigger impact and they know that they can only do that if they grow a team.
Okay. And so you fit in here because you want to be a part of the team.
Hmm.
Okay.
It almost feels like, what did they call that? Fractional, like
A
CMO.
fractional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a fractional content creator.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have hired VAs in the past. And why didn't the VAs work?
The VAs work because, well, together we'll come up with a system of how we create original content that's in their voice using materials that they've already created that we can spin and create different versions of and allow them to put the final MO on it. They need to stamp it with their essence and their energy. Um, and so it's so much efficient. Those people are focusing on getting it done, like you said, the implementation part of that, and so much more price um, cost effective.
Okay. All right. So then, if a business owner is up leveling and hiring a team, how much revenue do you think they need to be making in order to do that?
I don't know. They're probably at 7 to 10.
1,000 a month?
Hmm.
Okay. So we'll just say 10,000 a month.
Okay.
Okay. So then if you are creating content for them, um, and that content is designed to do what?
The content is designed to help them. I love it because they begin to be like the lighthouse where they're consistently putting out their branding, essentially their image in a consistent way that their ideal clients are actually coming in to see them. So they're not in that seeker mode. They're actually attracting more of the clients. So it's more, discovery calls, it's more clients, it's more revenue.
Okay. So your whole thing needs to be that if they're making a minimum of $10,000 a month and they want more clients, do they have the bandwidth for more clients? That has to also be a question, because if you're saying my content is going to help you attract more clients, how many more clients can you realistically handle? Because what happens is,
Yeah, I hear you.
happens sabotage. Sabotage. So people will sabotage their own efforts because they believe they can't handle more clients. So when you are doing a consult with someone, you need to be asking them, how many more clients do you have bandwidth for? Like, what is the goal number that we're trying to help you achieve so that you can create content that is specifically designed to help them fill that gap of how many clients they're looking for? So specific number. This is going to have to be very data driven, where you are saying, okay, great. You want 10 new clients. Okay, great. My goal is to help you get those 10 new clients.
Hmm.
Okay. So now you have a measure of ROI and what are those 10 clients worth to that client. So if they're like, well, my program is $6,000 and I need 10 of them, well, that's 60 grand.
Hmm.
Okay. So now, how much money are people willing to spend in order to make 60 grand? That's what your price tag needs to be. Do you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they need to have a product or a service that is high enough. So, like, if they're making $10,000 a month, how many clients is that? Well, they're like, well, that's two. They have two clients and they're making 10 grand. Well, they're at least making $5,000 per client per month, right? So it's a math equation, right? It's a math equation. Um, there is a there's a guy that I follow named Chris Kenny. He taught a workshop for one of my summits, and he's a sales coach. I keep this literally in my eyesight. So when I do consults, I can look at this. Here are some of the questions that he does when he does consults. Okay. So he says, tell me more about what you do. Tell me about your offers. How much are you charging? What is your average? So getting to really know um, their the numbers behind their business. Okay. Um, and then asking what revenue could be possible if we work together. So now you're helping them future cast. Well, if we work together and you help me get those 10 clients that are worth $6,000 a piece, well, now I'm making 60 grand. What would that do for your business if you made an additional 60 grand in 30 days? Well, I'd be able to do this, I'd be able to do that, da 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 da, right? Helping them really see what's possible based on their bandwidth, based on how many clients they can serve, and based on what is their average sale. Um, the next question he asks is, what do you think will happen if we work together? Well, if we work together, you're going to take all of this stress off of my plate of having to constantly be on social media, da 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 da. Okay, cool. The next question he asks is, what are you worried about missing out on? So if you're spending all your time on social media, are you missing out on spending time with your kids? Are you missing out on spending time with your grandkids? Are you missing out on going to the soccer games and the football practice and all of the things? Are you missing out on traveling and taking more vacations? Like, what will you miss out on if you don't let this go? Okay. And then the next one he asks, this is by the way, this question right here is OMG mic drop moment. Okay. He asks, are you an overthinker? And is this an opportunity to break that habit?
Oh, sweet.
Oh, right? Mic drop moment. Um, so, and then prescribing the solution, right? Prescribing the solution. The other thing, hold on, there's another, I wrote down so many notes when he was a speaker because he is so good. The other thing that I loved that he talked about was where is it at? It was you're selling to the personalities, and the ego is the one that's kind of like in the way of
Oh.
making decisions. And so selling around the ego is oh my gosh, I'm like so close. Here we go. It's coming up. It's coming up.
That's so juicy.
I
And
know.
even for ourselves, as we're thinking about, taking this next step, we want to be bold.
Yeah.
What's the barrier to that? Ego.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. Are you ready for this? Here's my page. So many notes. Okay. The price objection, that price is only expensive because it's being compared to something else,
Shazam.
right? So what are they comparing it to? If they're like, oh, I can't afford that or that's expensive, compared to what? Compared to what? So are they price shopping? Is it only based on price that is keeping them from hiring you?
Mm.
And if they're like, well, that's too expensive, I can't afford that. Okay, great. Well, I have a done with you option, right?
Mhm.
Um, so he says you have to control what they are comparing us to. And the ego is conditional, it's conditioned to resist and protect itself. And change threatens the current state of ego. So you're asking people to give up control over the
Ouch.
thing that they have been holding on to. And what is that costing them?
Yeah. Wow,
It's
wow.
costing them time. It's costing them consistency because that is one of the things in Diamond, when I'm always asking people, where are you stuck? It's consistency. Is that I'm not being consistent in my content there because of sabotage. Because I always joke Sally the self-saboteur is my saboteur's name. She always comes to pay a visit and tells me nobody wants to hear from me, nobody cares what I have to say, da 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 da. So what would it look like for someone who is not consistent in their content and are getting minimal results to being inconsistent in their content and now really starting to consistently put content out there that is going, wow, they're really stepping it up.
Mhm.
Wow, I see your content all the time. Wow, I really loved what you had to say. Like it starts building that brand, it starts like communicating that consistency. And before you know it, people start reaching out because you said something that resonated with me, and I felt so compelled to reach out to you and see how you can help me.
Mm.
And that's where you come in. You're like, that's what I will do for you is I will create content that will have people reaching out to you to schedule consults. Your job is to not close the consults. That's their job. Your job is to help get the people into their calendar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel confident that you can deliver those results?
There's definitely the semi saboteur, I'll call her Valerie, valueless, of like, there's that part of me, it's fascinating because I know we all do this, is I want to take responsibility for my clients' results.
Okay.
Like yeah. So there's that internal insecurity, I guess, about myself that I want to make sure that I can
Right.
promise them
Uh-huh.
you're going to get, and like you said, it goes back to some of that bro marketing that we hear so much of like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to hit that $100,000 in 90 days and you're going to have a dozen new clients in 10 hours.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that does actually have resistance when I think about um, I feel split personality because there's that aspect of me that's absolutely like I hear that all the time of like, hey, I saw, and just like you were saying, people aren't necessarily interacting with the stuff, but they see it and they reacted to something. They signed up for a webinar because they saw the stuff on social media.
Hmm.
So I know it works. I know it works.
Yeah. So one of the things that I pride myself on is I tell people that I treat your business like it's my own,
Mm,
right? I treat your business like it's my own business.
mm.
And so the ROI really is going to depend on their ability to close. So you could say, I just brought you 50 people and you closed two. That's not on you. That's
Mhm.
on them. So I also think that it's important that you are selective about who you work with so that you make sure that, and you say,
That's
walk
super
me
good.
through your sales, your consult. Pretend I'm a client. Walk me through that process because what if that sucks? And
Hmm.
they need to have a service or a product that you feel confident about, that you are excited to share with people. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's almost like your job is to help them get more clients because you believe in them so much. So it has to be this like you become a part of the team. Like you were saying, I want to be a part of your team. You have to believe 100% without a shadow of the doubt that they can deliver. So I am huge on customer experience. So I would also be asking them, let's also take me through your customer experience. What does your customer journey look like? Because if it sucks, right, they
Hmm.
have to improve it. Otherwise, it's all going to be for nothing. The content is a lead magnet to attract people to you. And if your customer journey sucks, nobody's going to buy. And then they're going to blame you.
Hmm.
So you have to be super clear that, and you are almost interviewing them instead
Yeah.
of vice versa.
I love that of I want the feeling of cherry picking and I thank
Yes,
you so much of at beginning of the year we're visualizing who we want to work with. That's such a critical distinction of
yes,
my that makes someone an ideal client, someone who's willing to
yes,
lay it all out and let's create this beautiful that's one of my favorite things is when I can take what they've got and show them the value, put the offer together in a way that they just can't wait to go and share
yeah,
it because it's like I know I can deliver this and
right,
they're jazzed and ready to share it.
right. The other thing I would encourage is, do they have a coach or a consultant that they're working with? And the reason I do not work with people unless you already have a coach or a consultant or you hire me to do that as well. Because what I know to be true is I will do all the work and then they're going to sabotage me because the mindset, right? So I don't want to spend and waste my time and energy on something if they're going to sabotage me. So maybe that becomes one of your requirements. And you mentioned that you have been a coach before. So is this something where you could combine the two and offer coaching as well as content creation and helping them create and refine that offer? Like how, like all of the things. They need to have all of the things mapped out clearly. Otherwise, you're just creating content to fill a void, and that is not the intention. The
Yeah,
intention is you have an offer, and my job is to help get people into your calendar to help you sell that offer.
love it.
So, what is it? And is this something that is in alignment with your goals and your values and all of the things? Do we have an easy understanding landing page that is going to help you achieve this goal? I almost feel like they need to have like a deep dive
Hmm.
done before you to take them on as a client. And how long are you planning? Do they need your support? So is it just for a launch where you're like, all right, we're 90 days, we're gonna, we're gonna whip this through and evaluate if we want to continue working together? Or is this going to be more of a long-term thing?
It feels like, the launch part is just them starting to get clear on the message, but the other part of that is becoming habitual in the way that they're sharing and repurposing their content.
Mhm.
So it definitely feels like at least 6 months.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I like 6 months.
So then maybe part of it is visibility, brand awareness, yada, yada, yada. And then we have an offer and we start moving into now trying to get people, converting them in. Um, and the other thing is who is going to schedule and post the content.
Yeah. At that point in time, the VAs will schedule. It'll be the drafts of the thing, and it's essential that they go in and zhuzh it up with their own energy and perspectives.
Okay. Okay. So then I would also be really clear on, so like expectations from the beginning. This
Hmm.
is what you can expect from me. This is what I expect from you. This is what's going to happen if you don't provide me the information that I need in order to create the content, right? Like there has to be where you are meeting with them regularly. Let's talk about what's going on. What kind of things have come up in your life that we can create content around? Get some stories, get some, all of that other kind of stuff. Hmm. Yeah.
So good.
Okay. So do you feel confident based now on how to price this? Because I almost feel like this is a priced based on what their goal is and what their offer is.
Mhm.
How would you feel if you made them $100,000 and you got paid 5,000? That doesn't feel good, does it?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
So based on their bandwidth, based on their offer, based on how many clients they're trying to attract, what is all of that worth to them? And you have a very specific goal of in the next 6 months, you want to take on X amount of clients, which is going to bring in X amount of revenue. Well, I want a cut of that, right? So now you
Hmm.
have an even exchange because whether it's 25%, like you could say, I want 25% of that revenue as the person who's bringing them into your calendar. So your pricing could be dependent on the type of business they have, the consistency, the all of the things. It's a custom plan versus a one size fits all, right? So that
Hmm.
you feel like you are working together as a part of the team and there's a goal that, think about that thermometer, right? We're working up to that thermometer and where we're keeping track of how many leads did you get this week? How many did you close? How many whatever? Like you got to be data driven on this in order to show them that it's working,
That's so good.
okay?
Hmm.
And you could, I mean, I have seen I have seen people where their offer, one of my coaches used to do this. Oh my gosh, what did he call it? Um, he called it a, oh my gosh. There was like four different like ways that you could work like financially, like it was like a risk reversal, silly math. So risk reversal was basically like what is the promise? And if you don't deliver on the promise, right? So he would do things like
Right.
um you don't pay me until you make X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I've seen that. I like that.
Hmm.
You know, we're going to work together for 6 months, and if you haven't attracted 15 more clients, then I'll work with you for free till we do.
Hmm. Yeah, so like things like that, where you're just giving that guarantee because, like you've said, they've worked with a VA before and they had not a super great experience. So you are going to have to show them that you're different. And yes, they could go hire someone for $5 an hour in the Philippines, but you're not them.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So you're going to have to show them why you charge more and that it's worth it to them to hire someone. The value is going to be bigger and better and deliver better results.
Awesome. Cool.
So it's not really even about the AI. Do you understand? Do you see
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
We have barely touched on AI because even that's the tool that you use. So
Hmm.
don't focus on the tool, focus on the results. So when I talk about um,
Mm.
my business makeover, I'm an agency for Go High Level, but you don't hear me talk about that a lot because that's not actually what I'm selling. It's a tool that I use
Right.
to deliver the business makeover, but it's not the actual thing that I'm selling. Everybody, 50,000 people sell Go High Level,
Mhm.
right? I'm not like most of them. So don't focus on AI. Focus on content creation for the overwhelmed entrepreneur who is trying to up level and wants to take that off their plate and needs the consistency that is required in order to attract the people to them. It's not about the AI.
So good.
That's the tool. You don't sell the tool, sell what the tool does.
Mhm. Super good.
Okay?
Hmm.
What questions do you have now? Like what are you planning on what are you going to implement out from this conversation?
Really mapping out and feeling into getting comfortable with the value that I bring, that I offer, and the price that I'll put to the thing. And yeah, really looking at my own messaging because I've been leading, like you said, with the AI. There's a dance with that because it kind of is like the worm, that people are interested in right now. And like you said, they've created so much that they need to. I'm looking for the people that already have that overwhelm, and now they're like, okay, just take it, do it.
Mhm.
So yeah. So just looking at all my own messaging right now and really in on this. And
Yeah.
so good.
Okay. So I think like when you are doing your own content creation, I
Mhm.
would talk less about AI. I would talk more about what would it look like if they didn't have to struggle with their own content every day? What would they do instead with that time? Do they have an event coming up, a launch coming up that they're trying to fill, a webinar, a workshop, a class, a group program, coaching, whatever it is? What are you working on? And how can I help you get asses in seats? Yeah.
Good, good, good. Love it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, anything else?
No, I've got a lot to chew on here. Thank you, thank you.
I know. the reason we record this is because I will have no memory of any of this. Like my brain just spits out shit and I'm like, oh, that's right. We did talk about that.
Moments of brilliance.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's not me talking, it's something else.
Yes.
No, it's a divine gift that I just like, all right, here we go.
Take it away.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my gosh. So thankful. I mean, t a ton of value here, Elaine.
Yeah. So tell people where they can find you if they would like to connect with you.
All right. It's at kathybasel.com.
And it's Basel.
EL. Yes.
I will put
Yeah,
your
yeah.
link and all the things in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. But thanks everybody for joining us today on our first episode of 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll see you next time on the Bitch and Brainstorm podcast.